The night had dragged on endlessly, but for Mara Lewis, it was finally nearing its end. Inside the small convenience store, the steady hum of the coolers filled the silence, mingling with the faint aroma of old coffee grounds. Outside, the world rested peacefully under the fading glow of dusk. Mara wiped the counter with tired hands, weary yet satisfied, ready to lock up and head home. But destiny had something different in mind, the kind of twist that turns an ordinary evening into an unforgettable story. Just as her fingers reached for the register key, the doorbell chimed. 3 men stepped inside. Before she could offer a greeting, she felt it, a chill. Not from the air conditioning, but from their eyes. The tallest of the 3 smirked, his heavy boots thudding against the tiled floor. "We're not here to buy," he said, his grin sharp enough to make her stomach tighten. The other 2 followed close behind, laughter bubbling low and mean, their shadows stretching long across the linoleum. Mara's heart began to race. The clock on the wall blinked. 10 minutes past closing. She was alone. Or at least she thought she was. If you still believe that kindness, courage, and standing up for what's right can make a difference in this world, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness. It helps us bring more true stories of humanity to more hearts like yours. Mara steadied her trembling voice, telling them gently that the store was closed, but instead of leaving, they stepped closer. The one in the leather jacket, his name tag read Kyle, chuckled. "Closed?" he repeated mockingly. "We're just getting started." One leaned lazily against the counter, pretending to study the candy bars, while another in a red flannel shirt wandered toward the side aisle, quietly blocking her way out. The air thickened, heavy, suffocating. Mara's thoughts flickered to her mother waiting at home, always reminding her, "You never know who walks into your life. Some come to hurt you, and some to save you." Her hands shook as Kyle leaned in close, his breath sour with alcohol. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" he sneered. "Nervous?" Didn't respond. He grabbed the front of her red shirt and yanked. The sound of tearing fabric echoed like a scream. Mara gasped, stumbling backward, trying to pull free, but his grip only tightened. The other 2 laughed cruelly, their laughter slicing through the air. "Looks like we found our entertainment tonight," one jeered. Tears welled in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Fear rooted her in place, her mind spinning, searching for an escape. Then, a sound, a faint thud from the back of the store. A step, then another. The men turned sharply, their smirks fading. Mara followed their gaze, and froze. 3 shadows emerged from between the aisles, moving with calm, deliberate steps. The echo of heavy boots filled the quiet store. The laughter died. From the shadows stepped a tall, rugged man, maybe in his late 40s. His beard was streaked with gray, tattoos crawling down both arms. A black leather vest bore the unmistakable patch, Hell's Angels. The name stitched above it read, R.L. Chills. 2 others followed, one bald with a long dark beard, the other younger, with shoulder-length hair and sunglasses resting on his head. They looked like men who'd seen enough of life to recognize real trouble when it showed its face. Mara stood motionless behind the counter, as the 3 bikers stopped a few paces from the intruders. The silence between the 2 groups was heavy, almost electric. The leader's cold, steady gaze dropped to Kyle's hand, still gripping Mara's torn shirt. His voice, low and deliberate, cut through the tension. "You might want to let go of that." Kyle tried to play tough, forcing a shaky laugh. "And what's it to you, old man?" The biker said nothing. He took one slow, solid step forward, and somehow the air itself seemed to shift. Kyle hesitated, then released her shirt, backing off a step. His smirk dissolved, his friends grew quiet. "You boys have had your fun," the biker said calmly, though every word carried steel. "Now, you're going to walk out, quietly. But punks rarely take orders well." Kyle spat on the floor, his voice trembling beneath his bravado. "You think you can scare us?" That was his mistake. The younger biker cracked his knuckles. The bald one tilted his head slightly, smirking as if he already knew how this would end. The leader's eyes never left Kyle's. "No," he said quietly. "I don't think. I know." What followed wasn't a fight. It was a flash of controlled chaos. Kyle lunged forward, but his arm was caught mid-swing. A twist, a shift, and he hit the floor, groaning. The second man charged but met the bald biker's shoulder, and within seconds he was pinned hard against the counter. The third froze, terror replacing bravado. Hands up, he backed toward the door until it chimed as he bolted outside. The others scrambled after him, cursing, vanishing into the night. Silence returned. Mara stood behind the counter, shaking, her torn shirt clutched to her chest. The leader turned to her, his voice now soft, unexpectedly gentle. "You all right, miss?" She nodded, her words barely a whisper. "Thank you." He gave a small nod, his tone almost fatherly. "Keep your lights on a little longer. You're never as alone as you think." And with that, the three men walked toward the door. Their reflections flickered in the glass as they stepped into the fading sunset. Mara watched as the motorcycles roared to life and disappeared into the horizon. For the first time that night, she felt safe. She realized then that heroes don't always wear badges or capes. Sometimes they wear leather vests and carry a quiet, unspoken kind of kindness, the kind that acts without needing applause. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that goodness can come from the most unexpected souls, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness, and tell us below. What would you have done if you were in Mara's shoes that night? Because sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is believe that kindness still walks among us, even when it rides in on a motorcycle, wearing tattoos, leather, and a heart that refuses to look away when someone needs saving.